I'd like to invite up to the stage Marc Gordon, President of Forward Marketing. Marc Gordon is a professional marketer and keynote speaker specializing in corporate branding and communications. He brings over 20 years of experience in online marketing, brand development, custom service, and advertising. Marc has been referred to as Canada's marketing superstar by Oprah Winfrey Network and has been named one of Canada's leading authorities on marketing for small business. He has been interviewed by the Globe and Mail, National Post, the Toronto Star, plus over 20 trade and business publications on the topics of marketing and entrepreneurship. His syndicated article, High Five for Business, appears in over 200 business and trade publications in 4 countries. His online business show, Marc TV, has been selected as a top business web show in both England and Canada. His agency, Forward Marketing, has developed campaigns for companies such as Toyota, Johnson & Johnson, TD Canada Trust, and Chili's Restaurants. Please join me in welcoming Marc to the stage.
Thank you. Directly across the street from my house, right across the street, are 4 community mailboxes. No, they weren't just put there with a lot of controversy. They've been there for as long as I've been there. They're the tall, narrow ones, and there's 4 of them in a row. And between each mailbox is about 2 to 3 inches of space. So other than the fact that everybody who lives just 2 or 3 doors down still finds it necessary to drive to the mailbox and do a 3-point turn in my driveway, I happen to notice that over time, there was a lot of stuff appearing between the spaces of these mailboxes. Things like flyers, brochures, catalogs, you name it, they were appearing in the space between these mailboxes. And over the weeks and months, the amount of stuff between these mailboxes was increasing. Now, here's what's interesting. Nothing between those mailboxes was direct mail. It was junk mail. And I know that might be a dirty word, but you know what? You have to understand there is a difference. Direct mail is what we create, what we put our thought and resources and our clients' money into. We're producing something that delivers value, incentive, it motivates, it educates. But for some reason, from the time we created it and sent it out to the time that the person put their key in the drawer and opened it up and took it out, they had such disdain for it, so much hatred for it, that they couldn't even bring it home to throw it out. They had to stuff it between the mailboxes. That's how much people hated it. They didn't even want to take it home and throw it in their own garbage. What happened? How did it go from being direct mail to junk mail? Well, to that, I think we only need to turn to our kids. And for those of you who have kids, you'll understand. And for those of you who don't have kids, I strongly encourage you to get some. They're wonderful little people that you can put to work doing just about anything. And if they're yours, it's okay. I'll explain. My kids, I like to give them jobs to do around the house. Basically any job that I don't feel like doing. I like them to rake the leaves, clear the dinner table, put away the dishes. Of course, the usual stuff, pick up your clothes, make your bed, keep your room tidy. And all of this comes from a good place. It comes from me wanting to instill in them the importance of understanding responsibilities, or taking pride in a job well done, or taking ownership of something. The problem is, that's a message that I value. When I send out that message, it's coming from a good place. But when they receive that message, something happens in that 0.5 seconds that I say it and they hear it, and it goes from, I want you to be a better person, to, you're ruining my life, you're giving me less time to hang out at the mall and watch YouTube endlessly for hours. The same thing happens with direct mail. One thing in common with every direct mail piece is that we create messages that in large part, works for us or our clients. We have something to sell, something to market, something to present, but that's not how they receive it. So, back to my mailbox. Every day I'm going out and I'm seeing all this stuff stuffed in there, all this junk mail. And I've had enough. I don't like looking at this. So, On one Saturday, I take my blue box out of my garage and I go across the street and I decide, I'm going to do something good for my community and I'm going to clean out all the dry, crusty, weathered junk mail that people stuffed between these boxes. I'm going to put it in my blue box and put it out on garbage day. I'm pulling all this stuff out. Flyers, brochures, a lot of real estate agent cards, as we've seen. Those just go right in, don't they? And I couldn't help but notice something. A lot of it was addressed. In fact, 2 addresses kept appearing as I'm pulling stuff out. So, what would you do? I figured, statistically speaking, based on the amount of addressed ad mail and the fact it was essentially 2 addresses, that these people probably didn't realize the value of direct mail. And by mistake, in their haste to get home, stuffed it between the mailboxes. So I took all of it out, this dry, weathered, disgusting, soggy email, and I split it into 2 piles. And on the top of each pile was a stack of addressed mail. And I went to one of the houses with this big pile of old junk mail, and I just left it on their front porch by their door. And I went to the other house, and I left another pile with their addressed mail and all the other junk mail on their porch. I can tell you that was 2 years ago, and to this day, there is not one piece of mail between those mailboxes. They take it home. They take it home. I think that's a round of applause because you guys, your stuff is now going where it's supposed to go. Yes, but here's what's interesting. It raises 2 questions. Number one, we're pretty sure they're taking it home, but more importantly, what are they doing with it when they get home? Are they now sitting there with the cup of tea going through each one? Gee, I'm sure glad that guy brought it to my attention. What a douchebag I am by putting all this mail in the between the mailboxes, right? Are they doing that? Or have I simply lengthened the channel of disposability and they're getting home and they're just dropping it into the blue box as they head into the house? We don't know. Now, the problem is with direct mail, and many times we're just casting a line, aren't we, into the ocean. We really don't know that much about the person getting it. I mean, sure, there's all kinds of cool statistics. The response rates are like 2 to 20%. We've seen today that like 55% of people value companies that market through direct mail, that 65% of companies, individuals actually like receiving direct mail, all this cool stuff. But at the end of the day, we really don't know 2 key elements. Number one is when they're getting the mail, when they're actually getting it. And Steve earlier touched on Swiss Chalet. And I can tell you that a quarter chicken dinner looks a lot more appetizing at 6 in the evening than at 6 in the morning. At 6 in the morning, if I pull out that coupon for the chicken or for pizza or whatever it is, it's not as enticing as it is when I've come home and I pull it out then and I'm hungry and the kids are like, "What's for dinner?" And I'm like, "I have no idea, but I do now." All right? The second thing we don't really know is who's getting that email. See, in my house, you have a 30% chance of it being me because it'll either be me who gets the mail, my wife who gets the mail, or on the long list of jobs I give my kids, because I can, I tell them to get the mail. And they actually love getting the mail. That's one of the few jobs I give them they love doing. It's a rush for them to go over there, open that little box. What's in the box? And they pull it out. So if I get the mail, I divide it into 2 piles. Addressed mail for my wife and everything else for me. Now, being a marketer, much like you guys, we look at mail a little bit differently. And we probably go through most of it. And that's what I do. I go through it. Wow, this is an awesome piece. I got to keep this for a presentation. Oh, pizza coupons, I'm going to hold on to that. Whatever it is, okay? I go through everything. Now, if my wife gets the mail, she divides it into 3 piles. A pile for her that's addressed for me, and everything else. And that last pile goes right into the blue box. You will not get my wife's attention. My kids, on the other hand, divide it into 4 piles. Addressed for my wife, addressed for me, direct mail that they find relevant to them. And anyone here who's working with Yogurties, or any frozen yogurt or ice cream place, my kids are waiting for your next direct mail piece. All right? Burgers, pizza, ice cream, that's their pile, which usually comes back to me, hint, hint. And then, of course, there's the other pile of things that they, as a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old, have no interest in. Real estate, new cars, anything that kind of stuff. So again, I don't really get to see that kind of stuff. We really don't know who's getting this. So the big challenge is, what can you do to ensure that, well, there's nothing you can do, I'll be honest with you. There's nothing, we all know this, there's really nothing you can do to ensure that the right person gets your mail. But what you can do is increase the chance, not only that the person will look at that mail, and we've seen some great examples, but as well that they'll continue the relationship. See, the problem with direct mail, for the most part, and I'm going to go back to that time when we were all single and dating. Remember first base, second base, all right? Direct mail wants to consummate the relationship immediately, that being the sale. I mean, isn't that the ultimate goal? It's the sale. And they want that to happen immediately. Sometimes they can do it with pizza coupons and things like that. It's not that hard to do. But real estate, buying a new car, renovating your house, putting in a new deck or a new roof, you got to have a bit of a relationship there. You're not going to go all the way on the first date. So what can they do? Well, there's some key things they can do. The first one is to create something that looks super cool. And I've gotten mail handed to me by my kids where it was so cool they actually had to show me the mail, the direct mail piece they got, even though they weren't interested. It was so neat that they came to me and said, "Dad, you got to see this." Now that's a direct mail piece. I want to show you this. This is not from North America. This is a European piece. But without even hearing the audio, you're going to appreciate how awesome this is. Is that cool or what? That's awesome. You just want to keep doing that. For hours, you just want to keep doing that. That's engaging, okay? That's drawing you in. It's super cool. This one here, this is very cool. Imagine a blue postcard arrives at your door, and all it says at the top, this is actually from Belgium, but at the top, all it says is, "You're going to love this even more underwater." So what are you going to do? A blank card. It says, "Oh, you're going to love this even more underwater." So what do? You run it underwater. And as it gets wet, a message appears. And this was actually a public service announcement to promote water conservation, which I find kind of ironic. But nonetheless, not only are you aware now, but you've also probably aware that you just, 2 cups of water down the drain for no reason. But what's important is that you make it engaging, all right? That's what's so crucial. And we've seen some great samples of direct mail that's not only looks good, but that is engaging. That's absolutely crucial. Now, for this presentation, though, I want to show you how to take it one level beyond, okay? And I just wanted to show you something really quick. I got this. No one here is from Olay, are they? Okay. And if you are, by the way, I love your products. Forget it. Anyway. All right. So I get this card, and it's here. I'm holding it because not only is it cool to hold, but I just got it a couple days ago. Perfect timing. So it's some new skincare line which cleanses, treats, and moisturizes, which, I'm at that age now. Guys, you probably know it, where you start keeping the moisturizers for yourself. When you were younger, you just give it to your wife and say, "You probably need it." But I'm now at that age where I keep the moisturizers for myself. So there's a sample on here. A sample of the moisturizer. So this is awesome. I love samples. Samples, I think, are fantastic. Nobody ever tosses a sample. Here's the problem. I pull the sample off the card. I toss the card. I use up the contents of the sample. I toss the packaging. I'm a guy. I don't remember the name of the product I just put on my face 3 seconds ago. And I'm certainly not going to go to the store to look for this product because I can't remember anything. Okay? Zero. So the relationship that they started, okay, they wined and dined me. It's like going out on a date and the date ends really well, and at the end of it, normally you'd say, what? Can I call you? Right? Can I see you again? You know what they did? They dropped me off and left. All right? They tuck and rolled me out of the car as it drove by. Keep your legs and arms in. Goodbye. Hope you had a good time. That's what they did. All right? I have nothing, and I've experienced what a wonderful product this is. And that's it. The relationship is gone. What could they have done? Well, they could have sent me to their website for coupons. They could have asked me to join their email list to receive not only coupons, but perhaps more samples, right? They have 3 products shown here. They gave me a sample of 1. Had they said, you like this product? We'll give you the other 2 for free. Just give us your email address. But the relationship is over. So sad. One thing that's important to do is encourage your audience to become a part of something. And a lot of you have probably heard of this company. It's a great retailer called The Running Room. So The Running Room does a fair amount of direct mail. I wasn't able to find a piece to bring. But what's interesting is if you ever get a piece of direct mail from The Running Room, probably about 20 to 30% of it is actually product-based. The rest of it is about social, getting you to come out to their event, getting you to join their group, getting you to participate or to attend one of their seminars. This company is very big on educating and creating that sense of community because everybody likes to associate with those who have common interests. So think about it. You get invited to attend a seminar called Are You New to Running? Or How to Train for a Marathon. So you show up and you're there with like-minded people. You have a good time. There's a social aspect, there's an educational aspect. You attend again and again. And when it comes to time to buy products, where are you going to go? To the running room. Idea number 2, Lego. Now, having a 9-year-old son who is a Lego maniac, he gets one of these magazines mailed to him every month, absolutely free. And inside this magazine is not only does it talk about new products coming out, it talks about how to build certain new kinds of toys. There's cartoons in it, there's puzzles, all kinds of stuff. He reads this thing cover to cover. He doesn't read his textbooks at all or any book assigned from school, but he will read this to the point that he's memorized it. But what's really cool is the relationship doesn't end when he gets to the end of the magazine. Because throughout the magazine are things like, here's a new kit. Would you like to see how to build it? Or here's a way that you can build your own Star Wars spaceship. All you have to do is go to the website. And on the website, not only are there tons and tons of content on how to embrace and enjoy the Lego experience, but as well you can play games where you can earn coins and points and all kinds of stuff that you can use towards product. So it's created this cycle. You like the product, you learn more about the product. You go to the website to continue that product experience, and the product experience in turn rewards you and gives you an incentive to buy more product. My son's entire college fund has been consumed by Lego. So, and it's all due to this. So, you know, he's not going to become a doctor, but I'm hoping maybe he'll, I don't know, can you get a PhD in Lego? I don't know. We'll have to see. Another one is a contest. Now, I must tell you, I do have some clients who are real estate agents, and this is something we did. And if you've ever worked with real estate agents, to say it's like putting a square peg in a round hole would be an understatement. They have their own idea on how the world works. They have no money, no clue, and no patience. So these guys let me twist their arm to do something like this. And on the other side of the card, I'm not going to bother to show you, but it's basically their picture. Just very simple picture of these 2 women. They're a team, and that's all it is. There's no mention of a house, no incentive, no nothing. You flip it over, and all you have to do is go to this website, naritaandmaria.com/contest, and you can win a $100 gift card. I can tell you, we've been running this. Once a month, they do this campaign to about 2,000 homes. Over the last 2 years, their email list has gone from like a couple hundred to over 5,000. And we've worked with them at creating some really cool emails that go out periodically, very targeted, very focused, and they have seen a substantial increase in business. But it should be noted, this is also done alongside all their bus ads and all the other ads and all the other stuff that they do. So it all works in tandem. But giving people a reason to share that additional information with you, their email address or to follow you on social media, that's what's crucial. And to touch on that very quickly, I would rather have one email address than 1,000 likes any day. Because likes are worthless. And Facebook is to thank for this. Facebook has essentially said if you're a company and you want to reach your core audience based on likes, it's going to cost you some coin. All right, there was a day where 500 people liked you, 500 people would see your post. Now, the reachability, there's a term for it, I don't remember, but it's basically near zero. It's probably 0.25%. So give me an email. That's all I want as a marketer. I would encourage you guys to have that same belief. Okay? Facebook is not what it was. Twitter is not what it was. Social media is not what it is in terms of being able to pull in information and data anymore. All it is now is a glorified push tool. Number 4, exclusive offers. So I didn't even know about this company. Have you guys heard of this, Restore? So yeah, Habitat for Humanity, a great charity, they have some retail stores. And anyone who's ever been there will know it's kind of everything and anything having to do with building supplies. So a lot of builders and surplus companies will drop off stuff, bricks, cabinets, tiles, anything. They'll just drop it off that they don't need or surplus stuff, and Restore will sell it at a fraction of the price of what it would cost retail, and you get something really good, really cheap, and they get to raise money for charity. I once went into one of their stores and just, kind of passing by, decided I'd check it out, and they said, would you like to be notified of exclusive deals and promotions? We're not going to spam you. We're not going to do any of this stuff. In fact, what's funny is they didn't even ask for my email. I said, sure, why not? So I gave them my address. And I would say probably 3 or 4 times a year, not very often, I get something like this. But they only notify people through direct mail, not even through email, just through direct mail. So there's that sense of exclusivity. I know this sale is not going to be swamped because it's not essentially open to the public, right? You have to know about it. So creating that sense of exclusivity, I think, is essential for drawing people in, for getting them, again, to want to share that email address with you, their personal address with you, some kind of permission, some kind of tool for you to be able to access them directly. Now, number 5, more information and offers. And it's interesting that Steve earlier said he didn't find anything from new car dealers. They're not big fans of direct marketing. When they do, as you can see, they do a terrible job at it. So maybe it's, I don't know, have you ever seen a direct piece and you feel bad for the tree that died to make that? So what's interesting is next to a house, a car is probably the single biggest purchase we'll make. And I've seen more thought put into stuff from Licenza, selling underwear for $7 each. How do I know that Licenza sells underwear for $7 each? Okay. But they're selling vehicles here that are $30,000, $40,000, and they just kind of throw it on there, and then they say no charge winter tires. If I don't need this at this point, how often do we need a new car? If I don't need this at this point, this card goes in the garbage. If they were smart, and I think it's fair to say that this is an epic fail, if they were smart, remember these guys? They would say, go to our site and join our email list for free oil change. Go to our site and join our email list and get a free snow brush with your next service. Or better yet, come into our shop for a free tire assessment to see if your tires are good enough that you can continue driving through winter. Something to draw you in. Once they have you in, either you go to their website and give them your email address or whatever it is to get something, or there's enough of an incentive to actually bring your vehicle in for some kind of free something, At that point, they've got you, and they can get your email, and they can start creating that relationship. Again, these guys wanted to consummate the relationship in one email for something in and around, $20,000 or $30,000. Now, my wife will tell you I'm cheap, but I'm not that much of a cheap date. So there are some key points that you can do, some key steps. And if you want to take a picture of any slide, this would be the one. So the first thing is use direct mail to capture interest. That's it, plain and simple. We talked about engagement, and you saw some awesome examples earlier on. That's it, just capture that engagement. Once you're done, offer an incentive through the website, okay? Take that relationship to the next level, all right? The relationship doesn't have to be contained within a mailbox, all right? Take it beyond the box. Like I said, forget social media. It's nice if they want to follow you. It looks good. I've always believed that the number of likes you have is a direct impact on your endorphin levels. It looks nice, doesn't it, when you go to a client's website or your website and you see you have thousands of likes? It feels good. Totally worthless, but it feels good. You want that email address. That is key. Immediately send a follow-up email. Now, I'm not sure how many of you work with that whole email environment, but I'm sure a lot of you do or can. What's crucial is they get the instant gratification. So the minute they give you their email address, something of value, and I'm talking value, not just, hey, thanks for joining, we look forward to seeing you soon. Something of value, the coupon, the downloadable information, a link to a special exclusive site, something of value. And what is value? It's different for everybody. Everybody in this room and your clients will have a different idea of what value is. So you have to understand value for one group may not be value to another group. And finally, give them an incentive to share additional personal information with you. All right? Not necessarily address, but once you have that relationship with them by having their email address, take it to the next level. Now you want to know their gender. You might want to know what city they live in. You might want to know their age. Don't ask too much, or you'll turn them off. But ideally, you want to know, right? Is most of your market male or female? Are they over the age of 50 or under the age of 50? These are questions you want to know. And then once you have that relationship with them, they'll be more apt to want to provide you that information. And finally, keep that relationship going. Create relevant and timely emails. I have a client that owns a tire store, and I can tell you there are exact times of the year when we send out emails to their client. We manage their email content for them. So in May, we send out a campaign for summer tires, actually probably in April. In the middle of August, when things are slow, like in the middle of summer, we'll send out another email saying, hey, you're going on that road trip? Awesome. Come on in. Let us make sure your tire depth, your tread depth is okay. We'll inflate your tires free of charge. Just come on in. We just want to make sure that if you're going on that big road trip that you're safe. In the fall, this time of year, we got a big promotion on winter tires. In the winter time, we get them back in for something else. It's all scheduled and it's all relevant. So, one thing to keep in mind, no matter what you do, at the end of the day, just like I tried to do with my kids, creating something I believe of value for them. We don't get that ability. We don't get that right. It's really about the receiver, the guy who's getting the message. And in many cases, we won't know who's receiving that message. But what we do know is if we create something engaging, something visually interesting, something that has that tactile difference to it, and most of all, something that's geared to them, we increase the chance of them opening more than just pizza coupons. Thank you.